BBC chair made errors of judgment over Boris Johnson loan, lawmakers say. Now, there is talk recently of Richard Sharp potentially losing his job as chair of the BBC. Can you see that happening? Can you see that happening? He's one of the boys. He's one of the club. I don't think he's losing his job, is he? And it's everything that's wrong. It's everything that's wrong with the government that we've had for a long time. Now, I don't care either way. Whatever side of the fence you sit on, there's only two sides of the fence in British politics, sadly, isn't it? And it doesn't bother me which side of the fence you sit on, and I don't care what side of the fence I sit on. But the government that we've had is all jobs for the boys. All jobs for the boys. They've all been to private school. They've all got a few quid, apart from Boris Johnson, who needed a loan for £800,000 for some reason. Anyway, we wouldn't think he'd be short of 800 grand. I don't know. Must just be the accent or something. It's all looking after each other, scratching each other's back. It's private school all over, isn't it? That's what they do. You go to the right school, you go to the right uni, you make these connections, you're set for life. You're set for life. I'll do you a favour, you do me a favour. Job for life, big pension, bosh, done. It's a life that we'll never lead. We go out trying to scratch a living together every day of the week. It's not something these people have to concern themselves about. This will all be blown over. There'll be some balloons or something in the UK, and then this story will go. It'll be buried. It'll be buried. BBC Chair Richard Sharp made significant errors of judgment in failing to declare his involvement in facilitating a loan for then Prime Minister Boris Johnson shortly before he was appointed to the role, a committee of lawmakers said on Sunday. Blythe, who is a distant cousin of Johnson, went on to lend the former Prime Minister up to £800,000, a media reporter said. Yeah, I still don't get that. I still don't get that. Boris said I could do with borrowing a couple of quid. And Richard Sharp's gone, I know someone who'll lend you a couple of quid. Let me put the two of you together. Connections, boys club, all that. But we'd all do that. That's all right. But it's still boys club connections, isn't it? But Blythe is a distant cousin of Johnson. So why didn't Johnson just go to him directly? Why did he need Sharp's involvement? What did Sharp get out of it? Oh, no. What did Sharp get out of it? Got a job at the BBC, didn't he? For his involvement in that, as a thank you for sorting everything out. We'll never know the full involvement. We'll never know exactly what happened. All we know is that Sharp introduced Blythe, Boris's cousin, to Boris and Wedge, and in return for that, possibly, allegedly, Boris said, thanks for that, fella. I'll tell you what, have a nice job with a cracking pension for being me mate. That's allegedly what happened. We don't know for sure. There's probably more to it. I still don't understand why Boris only bought 800 grand. I don't know. Why couldn't he gone to Rishi? Rishi's got a few quid. He might have lent you a few quid if you're struggling, to pay your lecky bill. Britain's public appointments watchdog is also reviewing Sharp's appointment. Government Minister Andrew Mitchell told the BBC on Sunday, we need this inquiry to take place, but then I think it will be a matter largely for the board of the BBC to make a recommendation to government. Spot a couple of things wrong there? I did. First of all, where are we? It's a matter for the board of the BBC to make a recommendation to government. The BBC don't get to choose who's chairman. And isn't chairman part of the board? Which means can Richard Sharp make the decision about his own future at the BBC? I don't know how that would work. But the government appoints the chair of the BBC, not the BBC. So the government get final say. And then it's the person looking into it, or the person commenting here, we need this inquiry to take place, blah, blah, blah. Government minister. A minister. Not just any old MP. Minister. He's not going to lose his ministerial job, is he? He's part of the club. They're all part of the same club, and they're all going to look after each other. And this will blow over, and maybe Richard Sharp may have to leave his appointment. But they'll do it in a way where he keeps his pension. I'm almost certain. If he doesn't keep the job, if he does have to step down, I bet he gets to keep a pension. It's all just one big boys club. And all right, this isn't all the BBC's fault, or is any of this the BBC's fault, to be fair? This sounds a bit governmenty to me, and the BBC would just, wrong place, wrong time, whatever, just the wrong organisation. And they've got stitched up on this. It's not the BBC's fault, but it's just another negative headline. Another negative headline for the BBC. When are we ever going to see any positive headlines from the BBC? I can't remember reading any positive headline. All right, I know I purposely look for negative headlines, granted, but I can't remember ever seeing positive votes. It's crazy. I've never known an organisation like it. So what do you think about this then? Let me know in the comments below. As always, thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, because that way, hopefully I'll see you in another video again soon, won't I? Ta-da.